He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates, my hidden ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic is the thing of his character. Our spiritual master is an ocean of mercy, friend of the poor, and Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us, give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. We take shelter of the lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Pandamui Savadana Mate Pandamui Savadana Mate Jara Prasari Bhai E Bhavatori Ajay Jara Prasari Bhai E Bhavatori Ajay Krishna Prapti Hoi Jaha Hoite Krishna Prapti Hoi Jaha Hoite Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Aikya Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Aikya Dharana Koriyo Mane Asha Dharana Koriyo Mane Asha Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Utama Gati Shri Guru गुरुचरणे रते ऐसे उत्तम गति ऐसे उत्तम जय प्रसारे पूरे सर्व आशा जय प्रसारे पूरे सर्व आशा चकुरान दिलो जे जन्म जन्म प्रभु से चकुरान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित प्रेम भक्ति जाते अविद्य विनाश जाते प्रेम भक्ति जाते अविद्य विनाश जाते गाय जार चरिता मेरे गाय जार चरिता श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनार बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवाना लोकनाथ लोकेर जीवाना आहा प्रभु कर दया देह मोरे परिचया आहा प्रभु कर दया देह मोरे परिचया जस गुस त्रिभुवना जस गुसुक्र भुवना श्रील प्रभुपाद पतित पवना सुअपर लोयल शरणा के गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनारा बंधु लोकनाथ लोकर जीवाना आ प्रभु कर दया हमारे पार छाया जस गुसुक भुवना श्रील प्रभु पार्वती पवना जय प्रभु पारा जय प्रभु पारा प्रभु पार जय प्रभु पारा प्रभु पार प्रभु पार प्रभु पार जय प्रभु पार जय जय प्रभु पार प्रभु पार प्रभु पार जय प्रभु पार Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shanyavadi Pasatya Rishatarine Saraswati Deva Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Chaitanya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga Gaurari. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga Gaurari. Jai Satchinandana, Jai Satchinandana, Jai Satchinandana Gaurari. Jai Satchinandana, Jai Satchinandana, Jai Satchinandana Gaurari. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga Gaurari. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga Gaurari. Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Rakshama Krishna 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 Paima Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rakshama Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rama Raghava Rakshama Krishna Kesava Krishna Kesava Krishna Kesava Parima Oh Krishna Kesava Krishna Kesava Krishna Kesava Parima Kesava Krishna Kesava Krishna Kesava Pahima Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Go on! Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radhe Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Jai Radha Shama Sundara, Shama Sundarari. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Gauranika, Gauranika, Gauranika. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Haribo, Haribo, go Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, Haribo, Gaura Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, Rajkacharya Ashtotarstu Shri Simaresi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajkacharya Ashtotarstu Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Nuramanveti Dham Ki Jai. Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Go Premanande Hari Hari Bol Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru Gauram.
Hare Krishna. So instead of reading something today, I'll just tell one pastime that Dinabandhu told us. We saved one day in Vrindavan to go around with Dinabandhu, which I've never done. I've never even visited Vrindavan and gone outside of that, the main busy part of Vrindavan. So it was really quite thrilling to get in a car and drive out into the countryside and see what Vrindavan might have looked like, hundreds and thousands of years ago, just rolling green hills and not a lot of build up anything and not a lot of people. So we took a trip to Terakadamba. We stopped at many places on the way, but this was one memorable story he told us. Terakadamba is the bhajan place of Rupa Goswami. And it's not a kutir, this not like a hut where he sat to write his works, but it's the kadamba trees grow up and then they grow out. And there's several kadamba trees and they intertwine together and create kind of a canopy that's full of beautiful kadamba flowers and leaves, and that's where Rupa Goswami sat and wrote. And it's called Tara Kadamba because Tara means to call out. So Krishna would sit on top of the kadamba trees, and this was the spot where he herded his cows. You know, he herded hundreds and maybe thousands of cows, and he had different classifications of cows, and he'd call, all the brown cows come here, all the white cows come here, all the yellow cows come here, and he'd sit on top of these trees. So that's the spot Rupa Goswami found to do his bhajan. So these old sacred spots are maintained by different babas over the generations. You know, a holy man will come there, and that will be his bhajan place, and he'll maintain the temple and do the seva for the deities and keep the place clean. And if pilgrims come, they speak to them. And this goes on for hundreds of years, and it goes from hand to different babas. So one Baba generation back was a friend of Dinabandhu's. He got to know him because he, you know, of course he speaks Hindi fluently, and he gets to know all these people because he constantly goes there and asks about the stories. So this was one generation back, and, you know, maybe within the last 10 years, I think, this Baba told Dinabandhu a story about the previous Baba who had been there. So this is within 50 years, so within most of our lifetimes. He told him the story that the previous Baba had been there most of his life. He was about 84 years old, and every day his service was, he made kadamba flower garlands for Krishna and Balaram. There's Krishna and Balaram deities there. And one day he got up and he said, forget it. I have never seen Krishna and Balaram. They've never revealed their form to me. I'm leaving here. I'm taking my things, I'm packing it up, and I'm going to Varshana because Radharani is more merciful. So he packed up his things, the little can that he carries for his begging and his chadar and his beads, and that was it. He headed off down the road, and there's just these little roads that wind in throughout the green pastures. And he was walking away, going to Varshana, and two little boys came running after him, and they had on kadamba flower garlands, and they said, Baba, where are you going? You can't go. He said, I'm out of here. I'm going to Varshana to see Radharani. She's more merciful, and I've never even seen Krishna. I've been serving here for 80 years. And they said, but who's going to make our garlands? Who will make the garlands for us? He said, I don't know who's going to make the garlands. Somebody else will make them. And he was thinking, well, these kids must get the prasadam garlands, you know, and that's why they have the garlands on. So he kept walking, and then they said, but Baba, wait, you can't go. And he turned around, and there he saw the forms of Krishna and Balaram. They revealed themselves to him. And he fell on the ground, shaking and trembling. And the villagers found him on the ground, shaking and trembling, sometime later. And they brought him to consciousness and asked what had happened. And he explained what had happened, and then he fell back and left his body. So there was such an amazing story, and it didn't happen, you know, in some unknown time ago. It was just within the last 50 years. So there's so many amazing, magical things that happen in Krishna consciousness that are available to anyone who practices sincerely. That was a great experience for me, hearing that and being in that place. All right, here's some of the transcendental things happening in Gainesville coming up. This Sunday, October the 5th, we have this opportunity to set up at it's called the Open Street Gainesville. So what they do is they take a mile between 6th Avenue and University down 1 mile. They block off the entire street, no traffic, and all the booths set up in the middle of the road. What they're trying to do is stimulate activity. So they thought we would be a great people to be there because we like to chant and dance, and we would stimulate people to chant and dance with us. So we'll have a japa meditation table and a book table and a Harinam party. And we're inviting all the devotees to come and join the Harinam party, especially if you like to dance and be active when you're, you know, doing Harinam. So if you can come anytime, you can come at 11. And wait a minute, now Keshava had said, yeah, 11. If you can start, you can come at 11. You can leave anytime you want. We just expect devotees to pop in throughout the day. That would be really nice. But it should be a very fun time and a great way to present ourselves to the Gainesville community. So you're all welcome to come for that. That's this Sunday from 11 to 3. And then I'm just reminding you that next week, Wednesday, the 8th, starts Kartik month. It's a wonderful time here at New Raman Reti. We have a beautiful morning program every day for the 30-day period, and Keshava will take a list of devotees who will lead the Damodar prayers every morning. We offer the ghee lights, as you know, in the morning at 7:30, and then again at the evening. I think it's at 6:30, so it's only twice a day that they're available. If you'd like to make ghee wicks, you can see Nitai Priya. She'll give you the stuff to take home, and you can make them at your house at your leisure and bring them back to the temple. We need many thousands of those, actually, for this festival. So we are going to try to organize a kickoff to finish the fundraising for the barn. You can see we have a roof, and we have a really nice door, and we have a foundation. We just don't have walls to hold up the roof yet. But we're only $30,000 away from finishing it, so that's within reach, I think. So we're going to try to use the Kartik month, especially Govardhan Puja, to push the fundraising. So remember that everything you give during the holy time of Kartik is multiplied 1,000 times. So think about that when you're thinking how to, do service this month and give in charity this month. It's very auspicious, especially for the cows, to give in charity to the cows. And I think that once we have a barn here, our lives will really change at New Raman Reti. Once we have a goshal, we have milking cows, it'll really change a lot of the mood here of being able to offer Krishna and Balaram, Radhe Shyam, and Gaura Nitai fresh milk from our own cows. So we'd like to see that happen this year. And I'm also, just to put it in your mind, I'm looking for one person who would like to be the contact person to welcome new devotees to our community. We have a lot of people moving here, and it's hard to even keep up with it. We created a nice welcome package in the office, but we need somebody who will just be that person, that go-to person. We can tell you there's new people come in, or you can find out and take a welcome package and just meet them and tell them a little bit about our community and where they can look to find out the kind of information one needs when they move into a new place. So if you'd like to do that service, just let me know. If you'd like to do any service during Kartik especially, just let me know. The devotee who used to clean the bathrooms every day, sweep the veranda every day, and clean the temple room every day moved. And so we're looking for those particular services and many others too. So just tell me. These are the devotees who assisted their spiritual master dressing the deities today. Shishi Radha Sham Sundar, Gandharvika Prabhu, Chota Radha Sham Sundar, Leela Prabhu. Shri Krishna Balaram, Jayanti Prabhu, Chota Krishna Balaram, Guru Prasad Prabhu. Shri Gaura Nitai, Astasaki Prabhu, Chota Gaura Nitai, other Gandharvika Prabhu. Guru Sanlor Nishingadev, Krishna Kripa Moya Prabhu. That's one person almost from every different country. Every one of those people is from a different country except 2 Americans. That's pretty nice. New Raman Reti is such a melting pot. I love that so much about it. Nagaraj Prabhu is giving class today.
Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaruthari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaruthari Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajaka Ashtotarstu Shri Shamaresi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai O Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 50. Krishna establishes Dwarka. We're at the end of the chapter, last two verses, text 56 and 57. So text 56, yet, whatever, Bhagavata, by the Supreme Lord, Dattam, given, Adhipatyam, delegated power of control, Swa, their own, Siddhaye, for facilitating the exercise of authority, Sarvam, all, Patyarpayam, Asuhu, they offered back, Harao to Krishna, Bhumi to the earth, Gate come, Nripa, O King Parikshit. Yad yad bhagavata dattam adhipatyam swasiddhaya sarvam putyarpayamasur hara bhumi gate nripa. Yad yad bhagavata dattam adhipatyam swasiddhaya sarvam pratyarpayamasur hara bhumi gate nripa. Yad yad bhagavata dattam adhipatyam swasiddhaya sarvam pratyarpayamasur hara bhumi gate nripa. Adhipatyam swasiddhaya sarvam pratyarpayamasur hara bhumi gate nripa. Yad yad bhagavata dattam adhipatyam swasiddhaya sarvam pratyarpayamasur hara bhumi gate nripa. Adhipatyam swasiddhaya sarvam pratyarpayamasur hara bhumi gate nripa. Yad yad bhagavata dattam adhipatyam swasiddhaya sarvam pratyarpayamasur hara bhumi gate nripa. Ladies. Yad yad bhagavata dattam adhipatyam swasiddhaya sarvam pratyarpayamasur hara bhumi gate nripa. Yad yad bhagavata dattam adhipatyam swasiddhaya sarvam pratyarpayamasur hara bhumi gate nripa. Yad yad bhagavata dattam adhipatyam swasiddhaya sarvam pratyarpayamasur hara bhumi gate nripa. Translation. The Supreme Lord having come to the earth, O King, these demigods now offered him whatever powers of control he had previously delegated to them for the exercise of their particular authority. Text 57, we can chant together. Tatra yoga prabhavena nitva sarva janam hari prajapalena ramena Krishna samanumantritaha nirjagama puradvarat padmamali nirayudaha. After transporting all his subjects to the new city by the power of his mystic Yoga Maya, Lord Krishna consulted with Lord Balaram, who had remained in Mathura to protect it. Then, wearing a garland of lotuses but bearing no weapons, Lord Krishna went out of Mathura by its main gate. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes the following verses from Sri Padma Purana, Uttarakhanda, to describe how Lord Krishna transferred the citizens from Mathura to Dwarka. Shushuptan Mathurayam tu Paurang Statra Janardana Udhritya Sahasaratra Dwarakayam Yaveshayat Prabhudhaste Jana Sarve Putradara Samanditaha Hayamaharmya Tale Vishta Vismayam Paramam Yayuhu. In the middle of the night, as the citizens of Mathura slept, Lord Janardana suddenly removed them from that city and placed them in Dwarka. When the men awoke, they were amazed to find themselves, their children, and their wives sitting inside palaces made of gold. Very bold. Thus end the purports of the humble servants of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to the 10th canto, 50th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Krishna Establishes the City of Dwarka. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Yad Yad Bhagavata Dattam Adipatyam Swasiddhaye Sarvam Patyarpayamasu Haro Bhumi Gate Nirpa. So we heard in the previous verses mention of Varuna, Kuvera, Indra giving offerings to Lord Krishna in his new city of Dwarka. Sometimes when devotees they move into a new house, then they have a housewarming, and devotees bring them gifts. When we had our housewarming, I remember one gift still there. Kalakanta gave me a pickaxe. He says, I know it's an unusual gift, but you'll find use for it. And I definitely did. And it didn't break either. That's one thing. You get a gift like that. So the demigods, they have amazing things. We're hearing about Kuvera. Nobody seems to know exactly what these things are. But he's considered the treasurer of the demigods because he has the 8 treasures. I've always wondered what it means to be the treasurer of the demigods. You have to go something and you, Prabhu, can you give me some money? I need to travel somewhere. I need some toothpaste or I'm not sure what the treasurer of the demigods does exactly. What currency they use on that level. In any case, they all have great opulences. In the Krishna book, and Srila Prabhupada is describing this scene, he says that there are 33 million demigods, and they all came and brought something to Krishna. So, he really had a house full of gifts, palaces full of gifts. So this is of course, the example being set here is so nice by these demigods. We often hear things, often in Krishna's pastimes, it comes up how some of these devas, they get in trouble, they don't look so good. And we hear about how they have material desires and so on. They're not completely pure devotees, they're Sakama devotees. But they are Vishnu Bhaktas, Vishnu Bhakta Smrito Daiva. You can't be a demigod unless you're a Vishnu Bhakta, devotee of Krishna. In fact, Prabhupada says in one purport that the demigods have the maximum amount of good qualities possible in the material world. So these are very qualified persons, especially if if you're one of the administrative demigods, the 33 million demigods. Sounds like a lot, but it's a very small number when you consider how many living entities there are in the universe. Only 33 million, or maybe Prabhupada says 33 crores, but then he translates it as 33 million, but actually 33 crores would be 330 million, although he generally says 33 million. In any case, these unique personalities in this universe, they're given responsibility by Krishna, and they're given power to do it, and different kinds of facility. So we had some examples here of Indra giving a Sudharma assembly hall. This was discussed yesterday, what it means to not die. Prabhupada says in the Krishna book that during the meetings there, anyone who was there was not inflicted by the miseries of old age. So that's another side of it. That would be usually people want to leave meetings quickly, so if you go to a Sudharma assembly hall meeting, you probably want to stick around for a while. Stay around for the cookies and milk at the end. Actually, I was just reading a pastime of Krishna in the Sudharma assembly hall. The Brihad Bhagavatamrita, so nice, you get some kind of expanded descriptions of different things. So you read about Krishna in Dwarka, because Gopakumar has made it to Dwarka. The Dwarka outside this material universe. And one thing about Gopakumar, wherever he goes, he never changes his clothes. I mean, not that they're not clean, but he wears the cowherd boy Vesh. He wears Gopal Vesha wherever he goes. So in Dwarka, the citizens of Dwarka, he was around for a few days, they were saying, maybe you should dress like us and look like everybody else. Because they thought, they're opulent. They wear big turbans, and they're kshatriyas. They're wealthy people, and so they're dressed with all kinds of jewels and ornaments and fine silks and so on. So they're seeing this person, he's dressing in a dhoti. They're thinking, what? Put some clothes on. Get dressed up, nice in Dwarka. But this is who I am. This is who I am. So, of course, Uddhava understands the residents of Dwarka because he's been there and seen firsthand. He's unique of Braja. He's unique among the residents of Dwarka like that. Most of the residents of Dwarka, they don't really understand Braja. But Uddhava does because Krishna has sent him there. So he understands his mentality. He brings Uddhava's already there, but Gopakumar comes in. And when Krishna sees him, immediately Krishna starts praising him and welcoming him and actually going into ecstasy. Because as soon as he sees Gopakumar, then he thinks about Braja and all the residents of Braja. And then Uddhava has to intervene and sort of calm down Krishna. This isn't the time and place for this. You have to be careful how you act in front of the Dwarkavasis because they're in a different mood. So he kind of quickly ends the meeting and takes Krishna. And Krishna takes Gopakumar. Actually, Krishna starts glorifying Gopakumar. Oh, my friend, I missed you so much, and that's so nice to have you here. And all the Dwarkavasis are looking on. They're wondering what's going on. This boy dressed in a dhoti and our master sitting on his big throne is acting like this. So actually, when Krishna leaves the assembly, he kind of quickly wraps things up, and he goes into his inner quarters. There, apparently near the one thing I thought was interesting was that when Krishna went, he left with his 16,108 queens. They all left with him from the assembly house. So I kind of always had it in my head that because Krishna leaves all his palaces, and he's in each one of the palaces, he's doing something different. We hear about when Narada visits there. But it's described how when Krishna goes into the Dwarka, into the Sudharma assembly house, then he becomes just one Krishna. One Krishna goes in. So somehow one Krishna goes in, but all his wives are there too at the same time. So apparently this is one of those other kinds of phenomena where they all think that maybe they're the only one there with the Krishna. This kind of thing goes on. So they all leave with Krishna and they go into the back, and then Krishna takes care of, or he greets Uddhava, he greets Gopakumar. And again, Uddhava has to sort of calm him down because he wants to go into ecstasy. So anyway, this one Leela in the Sudharma Assembly Hall, which was given by King Indra. So he must have gotten some brownie points for that, all the trouble he gets into. So he provided this Sudharma Assembly Hall. And these others, they also have, of course this is something astonishing. Indra can give this astonishing house for Krishna's service. And what can we give? This verse today, it begins, Yad Yad, whatever, Bhagavata Dattam. So, in other words, whatever they could give, whatever was at their disposal, they gave. Because they realized that Krishna has given me this power, or this thing, whatever it is, the Parijata. We know the pastime that Krishna, he stole the Parijata flower, being coaxed by Satyabhama. So he stole it, but, well, how can he steal it? How is it there, except because he put it there? It's only by Krishna's mercy that it's there in the first place. So he doesn't steal anything. It all belongs to him anyway. But one of the first realizations or lessons one has to learn in spiritual life is whatever we have, it's not ours. It's Krishna's. It's given, whatever we have temporarily is given to us by Krishna. And it doesn't take a big brain, huge intelligence to realize we don't have anything. Because we come with nothing and we leave with nothing. We can't take it with us. We have this slogan, you can't take it with you, but people don't really believe it. They're kind of hoping, oh, maybe. Put some things in my casket just in case. In fact, I think in different cultures they have different rituals like that. Put things there with the departing person. In fact, they used to have what is that expression? Pay the piper? When you're crossing, pay the ferryman. When you're ferried over to the beyond, whatever it is, you may have to pay the ferryman. So in some cultures they would bury people with a coin between the teeth. Of course, grave robbers would come and dig people up to get the coins. So they wouldn't be able to pay the ferryman when the time came. But anyway, this idea is that, well, maybe you need to take something with you just in case you have to pay somebody to cross the river. The river Styx, I guess it is, in the Judeo-Christian tradition. So, but we know that really you're not going to take anything with you. It's all going to stay behind, especially this body. So many places Prabhupada talks about. I listen to so many lectures of Prabhupada, and so often he talks about how this body is temporary and we have to go on. And how can they not understand? How can they not understand that just as we're changing from one body to the next in this life, we will again give up this body. We've given up so many bodies, so why should we think we're not going to give up another one, the last one, and take another one? So we will. We have to give them up. We're giving them up actually at every moment. The body is changing. I remember when, I don't know how long this idea has been around, every 7 years your body changes. Maybe that's changed too, but it was popular. Devotees used to talk about this in the 70s. And somebody brought it up in a morning walk one time. Prabhupada, we change our bodies every 7 years. And Prabhupada said, every moment you are changing your body. Every moment it is a different body. So, and it's changing not according to our will or our desire. This is also one of the arguments that we say. It's not ours. If it were ours, then we would have power over it, control over it. Just like if you have possession of something, then you can decide whether you want to destroy it or sell it or what you want to do with it. Theoretically, at least, in principle. But the fact is, we don't own anything because we don't have control over it. Especially our bodies, we can see. We don't want them to change. We don't want them to get old. But it's happening. It'll happen to all of us. And we have no control over it because it's not ours. The body's not ours, or anything we have. This sense of it is mine. It's one of the two, the pair of fundamental pillars of material existence. Mama, aham, and mama. Aham mama iti, aham mama iti. So aham and mama. In Bhagavad Gita we get nirmama. This is one of the things we have to learn. If you want to go back to Godhead, then you have to get rid of this idea, mama. These things belong to me. But nirmama, no, it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to Krishna. Whatever it is, it belongs to Krishna. So we don't have great assets, great facilities like the Devas, but we have something. Whatever we have, give it to Krishna. With the mentality that actually it belongs to Krishna anyway. Somehow or other, it has come into my possession. Let me use it for eternal benefit by giving it back to Krishna. Sannimitte varam tyago vinashe niyate sati. This is a Chanakya shloka, I think. It says that whatever we have, it's going to be taken away from us anyway. So while we have it, we might as well use it for something valuable. Just like if I give you some, there may be, who knows, maybe there's some game show like this. Here's $1,000, you got 5 minutes to spend it. So you just want to spend it as fast as you could, make sure you used it up. You wouldn't want to be left over with anything. So whatever we have is going to be taken away from us. So use it, otherwise you're going to lose it. That's another one of our expressions, right? Lose it or use it or lose it. So that's a fact. We're going to lose it all. And if you don't use it for Krishna, then it's useless, really. You haven't gained anything from it. You've used it for this body that is going to die, this perishable body. We're putting so much energy, all of our thoughts, all of our prana, arta, diya, vacha is going into this body and things related to this body, which is going to die, which is going to be destroyed. It's like you're putting, like you're going to destroy your house. Sometimes a house is condemned, so the government's going to come and tear it down. One of their big wrecking balls, smash it to pieces. So you don't go in there the day before and put in new curtains and new flooring or whatever, It's going to be smashed the next day. So that's going to happen. This is going to be smashed, destroyed. All the things we get, primary assets we have, we're told in this shloka, etavas janmasapolyam dehinam ihadehishu pranayararta dhyavacha. What is it? Shreya acharanam sada. This is in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. This verse is quoted. It's from the 11th canto. I think it's from the instructions to Uddhava. So it says that it's the duty of every human being to help other living beings. As Lord Chaitanya also said this. Praninam upakaraya. Upakar means, karda means to do, and upa, I guess it means for others, or it means good works. Upa, good works. So do good works for others. That's actually the purpose of life. That's our function in life. Our dharma is to not think of ourselves, to help other living beings. So this shloka from the 11th canto says, you do it with especially 4 things that we have. Prana, arta, diya, and vacha. So prana means our life breath. In other words, our life itself, our whole life, is meant to be serving others. And some specifics are given. Arta means our wealth. So whatever that is, it may be great, it may be small. If you're a king, we read in the Bhagavatam how Ambarish Maharaj, he could worship the Lord in great opulence. Or Swayambhuva Manu, he had great opulence. After he arranged the marriage of Devahuti to Karma Muni, then he went back to his capital, And his enjoyment there is described. The level of his opulence was incredible. But it was all used to worship Krishna. There's an interesting verse there that says that Swayambhuva Manu always enjoyed his material life in Krishna consciousness. So material life means the things of this world. He used them. He enjoyed them, actually. He was a king, so he had great opulence. But it was all in an atmosphere of Krishna consciousness. It was all connected to Krishna. So his wealth, he returned it to Krishna by using it in Krishna's service. And what do we have? Something. But it doesn't matter what it is. If it's used for Krishna, then it gives us eternal benefit. We have these in different places it's described. If you give to different persons, you get this kind of return. People are always looking for the maximum return on investment. So there's no greater return on investment than giving to Krishna. We think we're giving up something, but actually we're going to get back so many times. We would get excited if somebody told us, somebody came in and said, this is a guaranteed thing, absolutely guaranteed, 100% sure. If you give $100 today, come back tomorrow, we'll give you $10,000. So the temple would probably be filled up pretty quickly. Everybody would rush to the temple with their $100. Somehow or other, they'd get $100. They'd bring it to the temple. But actually, if we give $100 to Krishna today, we'll get unlimited results in the future. All of our desires will be fulfilled by serving Krishna. I always think of this. What does this mean? All my desires will be fulfilled. I think, gee, I hope not. I'm really going to be in trouble. But I take it that it means that you'll be fully satisfied. Not that each individual thing, every desire. Now, of course, that happens sometimes, like Dhruva Maharaj. He had to lament because Krishna did fulfill specific desires. But I don't think that's really what it means necessarily at the heart. It means that you will become fully satisfied. That comes up in two prayers we say in the morning, at least in the Tulsi prayer and also in the Guru Vandana, prayer to the spiritual master, that all desires will be fulfilled. Tulsi will fulfill all of our desires, and the spiritual master will fulfill by the perfection of service to the spiritual master, attachment to the lotus feet of the spiritual master, all desires are fulfilled. So I take that to mean I'll be fully satisfied. I won't have any other desires. Anyabhilashita shunyam. I'll come to that stage. All my desires will become, other desires will be zero. They'll be canceled out. That's how they'll be satisfied. But because Krishna will fill us with bhakti, fill our hearts with bhakti. So if we give our artha, our wealth, in whatever way we can, actually Krishna says, patram pushpam palam toyam. If this is the only wealth you have, the flower, water, leaf, if that's all you can give, but if you give it bhaktya, because really what Krishna wants is our bhakti, he wants our heart. This is somewhere I read the mudra, when you do pranam, this has been interpreted that you're putting your heart in your hand. Pranam, you put it by your heart, so that you're offering your heart. I've always wondered, actually there are places in the Bhagavatam where it says pranams with the hands above their head. We don't usually do that, but I think Krishna had the gopis do that, right? When he stole their clothes. Put your pranams up on your head. Of course, he had a specific reason for doing it that way. But this is also a traditional way, of course. So I was thinking, well, I guess that means put your brain in offering your head too. Not just your heart, but your head too, offering to Krishna. So our wealth, part of our wealth is these things. We have some control, we can say. Our consciousness, our intelligence. Of course, that's the next one in the list. Diya, or use our intelligence in the service of Krishna. Kriti means some pious credit. Prabhupada talks about how we have sukriti and dushkriti. So sukriti means pious credit, and dushkriti means you have some credit, and it also, that credit could be intelligence. To be educated, to be learned, to have good brain, That's as a result of good deeds in the past. But if you use it for nonsense, not for Krishna, then what's the use? Mayaya parita jnana. One whose intelligence is stolen by illusion. This is one of the four categories of the demons. They may have great intelligence. In fact, sometimes we can get a little intimidated. We may hear, oh, these people, they seem like they're so smart. And they look down their noses at religious people. Of course, maybe we're not intimidated if we don't pay any attention. That's the best way not to be intimidated. We don't care what they say. Listen to Prabhupada instead, the real intelligent person, and we'll see how he categorizes these mudhas, rascals. They may appear to be intelligent, but they have no intelligence. Krishna ye bhaje se bara chatur. Chatur means intelligent or clever. They think they're so clever by doing this or that. But Krishna ye bhaje se bara chatur. Greatly intelligent is one who worships Krishna. So that's intelligence. So using our intelligence in the service of Krishna, that's real intelligence. And then Vacha, our words. Prabhupada was so insistent in saying that we use our words for Krishna. Don't talk nonsense. In fact, Prabhupada was so businesslike in the sense of devotees doing service. I'll give you this one example. I'm not sure if this was, I think this is on the memoirs somewhere. I'm not sure if it's been played on Sunday or not, but probably it was. But there's this one Leela, I can't forget which devotees were involved in it, but it's kind of interesting. I don't want to put too much into it, but this devotee had seen, I think it was in Mayapur, the devotee had gone in, it was someone who had like a personal, you can say, direct relationship with Prabhupada. So he was a senior devotee. So he had some meeting with Prabhupada, and as a result of that meeting, he was given some new service to do. So he left, he was kind of in bliss, so I got some new service to do, and he walked out of Prabhupada's room, and at the top of the stairs in Mayapur, where Prabhupada's room was on the second floor, then he met some devotee that he used to serve with, who was one of Prabhupada's servants. He said, oh, nice to see you, I haven't seen you in a long time. And they just embraced and just started talking, oh, what are you doing? And just like 1 or 2 minutes later, Prabhupada's servant came out and said, Prabhupada doesn't want you just wasting time talking out here. He wants you have a service to do. Go on and do your service. So the devotees were just chatting, in a friendly chat. But Prabhupada, from Prabhupada's perspective, in fact, he used to say it sometimes. He would complain to his servant. Whenever two come together, there's always this, chit-chat going on. So he was so concerned that we not waste any time. Now, like I say, I don't want to put too much into this because it's like you don't have to be stoic and never talk to devotees or say anything or exchange greetings or anything. But I'm just presenting one side of it. How Prabhupada was so serious about the preaching. Use our words for preaching. Yesterday I was listening to a lecture and Prabhupada said, it really struck me because Prabhupada said, he was talking about loving Krishna. We have to awaken our love for Krishna. And he said, the greatest, I can't remember the words exactly, but in essence this is what he said. The greatest symptom of love for Krishna is, guess what he said? It wasn't ecstasy or something. He said, spreading Krishna's glories, spreading Krishna's name, fame, qualities, pastimes, and so on. Spreading, in other words, preaching. Preaching is the greatest symptom of love for Krishna. So this, you can see, this was Prabhupada's bhava, and here's a direct example of it. What is the greatest symptom of love for Krishna? That you love him so much, you have to tell others about him. You have to spread his glories. That's the greatest symptom of love for Krishna, of prema. So, this of course is Prabhupada's realization. This was his whole reason for being, you can say, was to spread Krishna consciousness. It's always so stark to me when I listen, especially even at 26th Avenue, Prabhupada has these brand new devotees. In fact, all over the place, Prabhupada says. He's preaching to people who are he's preaching to outsiders. He's giving a talk to the Rotary Club or something. And he's saying, you should join this movement, especially if they're Indians, of course. Bharata Bhumite, he would quote that verse always. You should help us spread this movement all over the world. So he was always trying to encourage people to use everything, prana, artha, dhya, vacha, for spreading Krishna consciousness, for giving it to people, giving Krishna consciousness to everyone. So this is especially in the context of this verse, how we return the gifts to Krishna that we've received from him by glorifying him, by spreading his name and fame all over the world. This is our, and of course, not only, as Prabhupada would often say, this will do good not only to you, but to not only to others, of course, by helping them, but to you, because Krishna is so pleased to see that. That's the gifts that we've received from him. If we use them in that way to serve him, then he'll be pleased. And when he's pleased, then there's nothing greater to gain than that. All right, I'll just read the two translations again. The Supreme Lord, having come to earth, O King, these demigods now offer to him whatever powers of control he had previously delegated to them for the exercise of their particular authority. After transporting all his subjects to the new city by the power of his mystic Yoga Maya, Lord Krishna consulted with Lord Balaram, who had remained in Mathura to protect it. Then, wearing a garland of lotuses but bearing no weapons, Lord Krishna went out of Mathura by its main gate. Now, any questions or comments? Janashtami, Prabhu?
Where's that reference that Prabhupada said the greatest symptom of love of God is to spread his glories?
Well, let's see. I just started listening. I tend to listen to things in order because that's the way the archive sets them up in the tape ministry, at least the one that I have. And I just started listening to the first canto, the Bhagavatam. So it's in one of the lectures that Prabhupada gave in the first canto, second chapter. I'm not sure which one it is.
Okay. Can you
So
find
that
it?
narrows it down a little bit.
You could probably find it easier than I could. I'd like to get that. That's a good one.
Yeah, maybe. I could. If I had the. Unfortunately, my database isn't working right now, so I'm waiting for Ekanath to come. He's coming this weekend. Help me install it again.
Okay.
So maybe I can find it after that.
All right. Then I had a question. It seems that like devotees oftentimes have a challenge when their bodies aren't in good health, and there's a tendency because of we're not our bodies to be a little neglectful of that, but actually, because it's Krishna's, he's letting you use it. It should be given a real high level of priority to maintain it and keep it in good health. But it's kind of a widespread phenomena, at least among senior devotees, where that's not done. I'm wondering if you got any particular. I know there's different references, I know, but if you have some thoughts on that.
I guess my first answer is, in fact, people think of this about me because I'm losing weight, and
I wasn't thinking like that.
But I'm going to apply this to others. People, it's sort of like they think, why don't you take care of yourself, But I'm telling you, I'm doing everything I can. I'm really trying. So when you say that about others, it may also be the same thing. We're getting old. Maybe they are trying, but their service is also a priority. And a lot of times it's just the demand of the service, kind of like, well, what can I do? I'm getting, 100 emails a day from these leaders. They get so much email, it's just overwhelming. So just the demands of the service that devotees have, devotees have taken on these responsibilities, leaders in our movement, and sometimes it's like, well, what can I do? I'm trying, but I can't spend my whole time. Just like I tried to follow Ayurveda, but to really do it, it's like, boy, you really have to pretty much dedicate your life to just, and doing all the things you're supposed to do. Because Ayurveda, it's actually about how you live. It's not just about taking this herb or that herb. It's about a lot of different things. So that's one thing in support of devotees who it may look like they're neglecting their health, but maybe they're not. But of course, because I think devotees do understand this principle. Prabhupada taught us this lesson a long time ago. Take care of yourselves. Devotees were coughing, and he would say, "What? Why is everyone sick? You should take care of yourself. So, of course, then the other question comes up, well, what do I do exactly? There's so many different modalities, and which one do I have faith in? It's actually a principle of healing, is that you have to have faith in the doctor. This is one of the principles, especially of Ayurveda. It's said in Ayurvedic medicine that as soon as you see the doctor, if you have faith in the Kaviraj, immediately you're 50% healed. Because a lot of what's going on physically has to do with the mental state. So if you actually just think, well, this person's going to help me, you're actually halfway there already. But now we become so bewildered. You think, well, I don't know, this kind of sounds good, but I don't know, there's this modality and that one, and should I do this, or should I drink my own urine, or should I, devotees have prescribed those, because that's one of them in the list, the auto urine cure. So I've done cow urine, I'll tell you. That's not bad, actually. It actually doesn't taste that bad. It's a little hard to get, though, because you have to get it fresh from the cow. So unless you live... And it has to be a calf or a heifer, not a cow that's had baby. There are all these rules. So it's like, where do I go for... So, okay, I'm doing my best. I'm trying to take care of my body, but, we're all going to die, so it's going to happen sooner or later. We're trying. So it's like anything. Where's the balance? We can't be fanatical about it. We can't neglect it. We have to be sober and do our best and try to serve Prabhupada. Because I think that's the overriding motivation of these devotees. They're thinking, I have this service to do for Prabhupada, and I'm trying to stay healthy, but, it's like, what do they say, chasing good money after bad. It's like, I'm trying, but it's not really helping, so, okay, whatever. Whatever Krishna's giving me. And ultimately, what can we do? Krishna's going to take it away, that's for sure. Anything on the ladies' side before I'll look back here after Dharmaraj.
So you did mention that that one of the greatest service or SSCs is to spread the Lord's glories. I'm always confused about that statement. What does that mean?
I didn't hear the first thing you said.
Oh, so it says that the greatest ecstasy is to spread the Lord's glories.
Oh,
So
the greatest symptom of love.
Symptom of love. Oh, what does that mean? And we always hear this saying also that one who spreads the Lord's holy names, he is like most dear to the Lord, or spreads his glories. So does that mean one who goes out there in Harinam and Sankirtan, or what about the ones who clean the Lord's bathroom in the temple, or who are generally never heard of? Or
I think it means both things.
Both.
I think it means, for one thing, Prabhupada did want all of us to do. This is an organization, and Prabhupada had this organization consciousness. That when you have an organization, people have to be responsible for their role in that organization. Or just like an army, one person is in the infantry, one person is in the artillery, and people are trained for different tasks, and it all works together as a unit. Or the body, each part of the body, to function, each part of the body has to do its particular role. So, in that sense, we all have to see that we're part of this mission of Krishna consciousness, and we should have that consciousness that the mission of ISKCON, Prabhupada's movement, specifically Srila Prabhupada's movement, maybe other Gaudiya Vaishnavas have some other idea, but Prabhupada's movement is about preaching, spreading Krishna consciousness. That was his bhava, and we take that from him. So we should have that consciousness ourselves, and that should be in our hearts. So whatever we're doing, we should feel that connection, and we should do our service very responsibly. Now, on the other hand, just like in the body, Prabhupada says all the parts of the body are, Prabhupada gave this example many times also about Varnashram. He said every part is important. You have to have the stomach, otherwise the body can't function. You have to have the legs. The Shudras have the legs. They're important. It may be the lower part of the body, but if you don't have legs, you can't move around. You're handicapped in how you do things. So every part is important, but still, On one level, the brain is the most important. So also in fighting a war, and this is a battle against Maya, we're spreading Krishna consciousness, those who are at the head in the front lines, they tend to be the ones who get the Congressional Medal of Honor. The infantryman who puts his life at risk, he's the one who gets honored by the country and gets the medals. The guy who's sitting in an office in the desk and designing the base or whatever, just like I was an engineer, so I wasn't going to get any medals for designing something or other. They weren't going to give me the Congressional Medal of Honor sitting at a desk. In fact, in the Air Force, the jocks, the elite, they're the guys who fly the fighter planes. So they call them jocks, fighter jocks. So they're the big shots. So also they take great risks. In Vietnam, so many of them got shot down in war, and they're the kind of people who tend to get the medals because they're risking so much. So similarly in our organization, the devotees who are out there meeting people directly, head on, one-on-one, and the whole austerity that's involved in that, there's great benefit to be gained from that. So in one sense, it's all one. We're all serving together in this mission to spread Krishna consciousness. But if you're actually performing that austerity, especially devotees who do it day after day, in fact, I sometimes think, even if maybe they're a little neglectful in some other area, possibly, maybe not so polished, still, so much to be gained from that. Prabhupada is so pleased by that. There's just no question about it. And when Prabhupada was present with us, how much he wanted that. He said, practically I'm beating them. Distribute book, distribute book, distribute book. Actually, if you want to look up on Folio, you look up this lecture. It's a wonderful lecture where Prabhupada says that in the lecture. Distribute book, distribute book, distribute book. The whole lecture is just amazing. So in that sense, I'm saying both things are there. We all connected. We're all part of the body. So we connected with Prabhupada's ISKCON body, and especially if we have that preaching consciousness, we want to support. In fact, if your consciousness is really absorbed in that, of course you'll look for opportunities for direct preaching, but even if you're not, if you're serving in the back lines, not the front lines, if you're really thinking, I'm supporting the preachers, and we have examples of that in our movement, just like Jayananda Prabhu. Of course, Jayananda Prabhu would do anything he was asked to do. Sometimes he was out there on the front lines, but generally he wasn't. But he loved to serve the preachers, the book distributors that were going out. Whatever he could do to support them, he just loved doing it because he knew how important it was to Srila Prabhupada. So imagine how much mercy he got, how much advancement he attained just because of that mood that he had. Let me serve these devotees who are serving. Dasa, dasa, and udasa. These are the real dasas. These are the real servants. These are those who are close to Prabhupada's heart. Let me serve them. So if we have that mood, then we can also, the more we have that, the more we can benefit from it ourselves also. So it's the real juice. It's the real juice, the real potency that's running through. The life of the Krishna consciousness movement is spreading Krishna consciousness. Becoming Janma Sartaka Kori, Karapara Upakar. So we have to make ourselves Krishna conscious and give it to others. That's the essence of these two things. Yes, one of our great preachers in the back here. Haribol, Mother Mahatma.
Just to speak about Srila Prabhupada's glories, I don't know if you all noticed that we have a new boy coming. His name is Josh. And the fact that he just chanted 16 rounds 2 days ago.
Haribol, Bhakti Josh.
Is due that because he received a book, the Sri Upanishad from Srila Prabhupada 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And those 2 years, it took them a little longer than, to come, but he was chanting for rounds already. So yeah, those books are very potent, no matter who we are, and no matter who is distributing, Prabhupada wrote them, so they are very potent, yeah.
Jai.
He's here now, and he said he's going to come
Yes,
for
he's right here.
Ekadasi and chant 16 rounds again. He's hooked now.
All right. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.